What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Beck Easy.
Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Johan.
Hey, guys. It's Trell, and this is...
The Team! We are back, episode 66. And we want to introduce our wonderful guest that drove all the way from Baltimore to come and be a guest with us. Like, that's real shit.
Real shit.
Like,
real nigga shit.
You get the MVP for guests on our episodes.
MVG.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. Introduce yourself. Let the people know.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I guess George. That's my original name.
Everybody knows
original.
As the jester. 1/3 of that Memeing of It All podcast.
Yes.
I'm just a guy, regular guy doing blue check numbers.
Right. You honestly though. But honestly,
And if you want to see some
viral.
Good memes,
Pop your shoes.
check out the Jester.
You viral as hell, bro.
Pop your shoes.
Well, first we want to thank you so much for traveling here to be on the episode. Like, that's very...
Just for a little old us.
And you've been showing us love from like the very, very beginning.
And it's all appreciated.
Thank
Definitely.
y'all for having me.
Yes.
No problem.
I had to get
Finally,
my followers
right?
to like spam y'all real quick.
That's
I'm
so
like, I
sweet.
texted you, I said, why you spamming us?
Well, we are glad to have you, and we're about to get started. How was everybody's weekends? How was your weekend? How was your travel here?
Travel wasn't that bad. Wasn't no traffic. It's getting cold.
Yeah.
I'm so upset about it.
More in the
Yeah.
house than outside. Like in the
Right.
house, I was like, oh my God, I need a winter
Right,
jacket.
Yeah.
me
And then when I
too.
went outside, I was like, oh, this ain't nothing.
I'm chilly outside too, but in the house, I've been like, it's like I don't got no heat. It's
Right.
like,
Right.
I
been
definitely
freezing.
was like, dag. Like, so when the episode drops, it'll be the first day of fall, technically, on the 22nd.
womp, womp.
So y'all wearing Timbs or Uggs? I mean, for you, it's probably
Yeah, I'm not wearing no
Timbs.
Uggs.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Still no.
Like,
I'm doing both because, I'm hood and then I'm classy. First of all, actually, it's like I was thinking about this morning. I'm like, I already spent so much money in my head because I need like regular moccasins. I need Ugg moccasins. I need Uggs. And then I need Tim regular.
Crispy pear.
You said
crispy
10?
Crispy butters.
10 regular?
And Tim's.
Oh.
And then I need Phil boots. That's a different kind of
Yeah,
Tim's. 'Cause,
yeah. The beef
girls-
and Brock's?
What's
No,
up?
I already have a pair in the closet, but girls with small feet look so cute with Phil boots. So that's
What's that? Is that the beef and broccoli style?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they have like multiple kinds.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably be doing Uggs this winter because I just need to slip on and
I think
go.
Slip on and
would
go.
be perfect for you.
Yeah,
Right,
because
who about to be lacing up Timbs?
right,
Right.
with
a baby.
a whole car seat,
But
right?
you need it though.
But I definitely need a pair for the baby. So I'm like looking through all these outfits. I'm like, I definitely need a fresh pair of Timbs and a fresh pair of white ups for the summertime. Like, those are gonna be a must.
Summertime definitely.
Like, he needs to have those
now
now.
socks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Damn Timbs.
he needs to have those like for the rest of his life. Always have a fresh pair of Timbs and a fresh pair of white ups. Period.
Can you
Word.
adopt me? I appreciate
Listen,
that.
I'm saying it now.
You need that one.
Yeah, right.
No, because I have this rule. Like, if you wear size above me, I'm not buying you no
True.
shoes.
That's
This
fair.
is true.
I'm like, dag, my son gonna have big feet. Like,
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
a pretty penny. I
Me
know.
and AJ was sharing shoes for like a very brief moment, and all of a sudden his feet are huge. So I don't know.
Yeah,
because
that's sick.
them tins for a man is $200.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Great. Look, I might be changing my mind.
Right?
I brought him some black Uptowns, and it was $110. Is that normal?
That's
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 good.
Yeah.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Because in my price range is like $85, so that's good.
Well, but yeah.
I'm gonna. I say all the time, I've never owned a pair of Uggs, and I say all the time, I'm gonna buy me some, and then I never do. But my intention is to actually buy them this year.
Yeah,
Timbs, I don't know when the last time I wore those, and I
They're
don't
worth
like them
it.
so heavy on my
It's worth
feet.
it. If
So I
They're
don't
super
usually.
heavy and like it take forever to break them in. They be hurting you. Oh,
Yeah, I don't like. But
it's
I
a
will
part
wear
of the
the.
culture.
What did you say? They
For
were?
the culture.
style.
The field boots.
I
Feel
do
good
like
ones.
those styles.
Okay, yeah.
But
Those
the
are
other
you
ones
can do
are
that.
feel like they're so heavy on my feet, and I feel like they make me look clunky. So
Yeah.
Just start with field boots. I think
But they look so nice with a nice vest with the flannel or the long sleeve underneath with some
Word.
nice jeans.
a guy in a pair of fresh Timbs.
I haven't seen it.
It does something.
I can't think of the last time I seen a guy in a pair of fresh Timbs.
Look,
Renee posted the thing, a meme.
That's why I
today.
looked
yeah,
at it.
and then I was like, oh my God, look how they look.
Oh, the me with the
Yes,
yeah.
with beef and broccolis and the fresh butter.
I'm done. But yeah, weather's changing.
Too fast, yo.
Yeah.
Well,
By the time
he's in the house for like 6 months. So.
I know.
True.
No.
Came outside, it got cold on us. It's like, nah.
Yeah, it's like summer came and gone so quickly. But other than that, just maintaining.
Yeah.
Such is life.
Such is life.
The Emmys will have already dropped, but I was saying that I hope Issa gets
today.
something.
I feel like she will.
Blackish.
I feel like she did too.
As a show.
I could see both of them getting something.
Yeah.
I don't know if they already released the winners because a couple weeks back,
Some of them.
I saw that Kerry Washington finally earned her first Emmy, which
that's
was
good.
long overdue.
And now that you say it, if I'm not mistaken, I feel
For
like
fires,
Issa did
little
get
fires
something. I don't know if it was
everywhere.
what it was, but I do remember somebody tweeting like acknowledging that she won something.
Yeah, and
I know sometimes due to time, they do like announce winners in advance. Cause I seen Tyler Perry won something for like his foundation or something like that. But
he
yeah,
just needs to win it all.
we'll see. I don't watch the Emmys, so I'll just wait
So
and
that's
see if
tonight?
they won or something.
I won't be watching either. Cable.
But yeah, that's about it. Joe, do you have a line for us?
Yes, but this is my remix line edition
What?
because you know how I like to.
Oh, you're gonna
mix
play
it up.
the
instrumental.
Okay.
So I was talking to my homeboy this morning. I'm like, I need some.
Homeboy.
I need
So
some,
are you.
like I need to drop that line, and he suggested something, and I was like, yeah, scratch that. So I was like,
Hey, yo.
Like you asked for my
Right.
Damn.
I didn't tell him that, but when I got off the phone, I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. And because I needed something, you're gonna see the vibes. Hold on.
Are we back to instrumentals?
Hope I don't mess this up. I'll be at home like, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Dear Stan from Eminem.
Yep.
What's the name of it technically? Is it
Stan.
Stan? Yeah. That was a deep ass song.
I needed something deep.
I would have had to listen to like a few more minutes.
Nah,
write
as
it.
that-
soon as heard the
Yeah.
writing.
In the Rain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Stan. That was a
Whew,
deep ass.
okay.
That was a really
That was a good
deep
choice.
song. That is a good choice.
Thank
it makes
you,
sense
thank
for
you.
this
That's what I
episode.
was like,
Unexpected,
scratch
because I don't think I
Man.
would have expected Eminem.
I'll be
Yeah.
at home mad at people not getting it. And I was like, hold on, I don't want to be that person that come on
Be
here.
like,
Okay.
listen, let me make sure I
Right?
know what's going on.
I always have to look to Danny because Danny always knows. She'd be like,
She knew. I just see.
Did you? I was about to say, did you know?
she always knows.
Danny
but
always
shout
be
out
knowing.
to you, Beck, because you got it.
Hey,
And you got the right
I'm
title.
excited.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yes. Any hot topics?
Yeah. So we're gonna start off with our home girl, the WAP Queen.
Yeah.
So TMZ. First of all,
it was quick.
TMZ.
Super
somebody
quick.
The same day.
They have to have somebody working in the courthouse
They had to.
because the
They
way
probably do have like somebody watching, like all of that.
or
Like, ma'am,
somebody
just sign right there.
or somebody's like, oh, this is hot. Let me contact TMZ and let me get some
That's
money.
true, too.
So, TMZ confiscated some documents that Cardi B filed for divorce. So her and Offset, is calling it quits after 3 years. But what's the controversy of this is that everyone's like, oh, that WAP,
Don't
they
keep
keep
him
him and da-da-da. But she
You
filed.
talk about some.
Right.
Cooked
First
and
of all.
clean.
And she's like, you know what? People grow apart and I'd rather call it quits now. She's like, I'm not crying. It's not because of what you guys think it is. It's just, I'm tired of arguing. And I salute her for
And
choosing.
before getting
Absolutely.
cheated on, she
Right.
said, "I'm a just."
And that's
end it before.
can we repeat that again? Because that's what
Yes.
stuck out to me the most. Because she said, she said before actually getting cheated on, but also before cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Right.
When you
That's
feel
true.
like, and I said this the last time, was this last episode?
Yeah.
If you feel like you're about to,
Right. Just call
end
it quits. I respect it,
Or
girl.
say we need a
Before
break
cheating?
or something.
Yeah. Before cheating or getting cheated on.
Oh, come on.
So you know
I'm
how
about to say Seth been cheating for like.
this
Yeah.
is
Before
Four-
him cheating again.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Getting called again.
right. But you figure if he cheated and you forgave him, you can't bring up old shit. So
Right.
it's like before I even get because
Y'all can't?
I mean, you can.
I'm about to say, I've heard it. Like,
True.
You're right.
So
Like-
if I'm arguing about this time, then I might bring up all the rest, but I'm
Why?
not gonna.
That's not fair.
Yeah, but
You
it's not.
forgave
It's
the last.
building- I know, but
It's real life though.
But so this is what I was about to say. So if before he cheated the last time, they were doing this whole not seeing eye to eye and arguing, because she sees the not seeing eye to eye and arguing,
She knows
her
the
first
pattern.
assumption is going to be he's going to do what he did the last
right.
time.
She knows the pattern.
You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
So
what
it's a
you're saying.
trigger.
Because guys are usually pretty predictive.
Consistent with it.
He could have changed.
This is true.
Oh yeah, you know the change.
Yeah.
You
could've.
see it coming from a mile away.
He absolutely could have.
But like she said, it had nothing to do with cheating or
Right.
having a baby on the way.
She just
said
tired
she's
of
just
doing
tired
it?
of arguing. She's
And I
tired of a
respect
toxic
that.
environment.
Right.
She's been toxic her whole life.
So
Like-
she
So
wants
what?
something
That
different.
so
I
what?
salute
But-
her
So
for
she's
wanting
ready to
something
change.
different.
But
Yeah.
no, not even.
Okay.
You can be toxic and say, you know what? I'm toxic in this situation. Let me step away from it.
Right.
That's another option too.
Mm-hmm.
So because she's toxic, so she's supposed to just stay and just
Right,
he's
because she
supposed to
didn't
handle
say
it? No.
she didn't say I got tired of him arguing with me, or
She didn't.
I got tired of arguing with him. She just said I got tired of
so
arguing.
she just fed up.
Basically, she said I got tired of arguing. I got tired of not seeing things eye to eye. When you feel like it's just not the same anymore, before you actually get cheated on, I'd rather just leave.
Okay. When a
But-
woman's fed up, I got it.
It ain't nothing you can do.
Exactly, ain't nothing.
And he seemed
it.
unbothered.
That's a real statement.
Right.
I
Like,
respect
He seemed
it.
unbothered. It was so
Yeah.
funny because the
Because
meme
it
is
probably
like,
maybe it was at that point it could have been a
mutual
mutual
feeling.
agreement.
Right.
True.
he just missed his green. So then
Grandma.
people like, oh, she wrong. He grieving his grandmother right
Yeah.
now. But at the end of the day, like I said,
That's
like
the move, though.
That's how they get you.
Yeah,
That's so
that's how they do.
manipulative.
and he was
But
so straight faced.
because my thing is, okay, say she says, all right, I'm gonna wait till after he grieves his grandmother.
It's gonna always
Grieving
be
is
something.
never gonna be an ending thing.
That's
Right,
how that's
right,
the move.
Right.
You keep
It's
her
like you just
forever
keep
and ever.
right because you feel bad and
You're gonna
Yeah.
always try to play that card.
Yep.
absolutely.
No, let me get out now.
Yeah. And it's just so weird that like nowadays we judge people's music by their personal lives. Like all the memes, like, yo, and like somebody posted, I know people that cook, clean, are bosses.
Boss.
Look at Mary, like we just said, Mary J. Blige hired her husband. Like
First
these
of
people
all-
look at Adele. Like she is financing her husband.
First of all, he took all her earnings. She's left with like
Nothing.
First of all,
Nothing.
people just
Be
do the
talking
most.
just to talk.
They talk the talk, and you don't listen. One, two, you just be saying anything. First of all, she said, "I don't cook, I don't clean." But let me tell you how I got this ring. She never said, "I don't cook, I don't clean," but I still got this ring. She
Right.
never said I didn't have to do that. On top of the fact that she doesn't have to cook or clean because
'Cause she got enough
Why the hell
money.
would you when you can hire somebody?
Right.
This is a
First
fact.
of all, and then why are we even comparing that to her filing for divorce?
Right.
Right.
It has
They have nothing to do with each other.
it.
And
Yeah.
if you look on her stories, they eat good every day.
Nigga, did
Right.
you see Culture's birthday?
They
First
eat.
of all,
That's every day.
I know.
They
She
eat
always
good
eating
every
some king
day.
crab legs, like every day, faithful.
Every day. They
And then
eat
her
good.
her mother must be there chopping it up because she always be having her Spanish cuisine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she be. Oh my god, she be savage.
She's surrounded
This
by
whole
family all the
quarantine,
time.
she
Yeah.
been eating.
she got-
That's why she said
driving
she
the
got
camera
lipo
like-
money.
Yeah,
She got
period.
lipo money.
But
Right.
yeah, we hope. And then you know what? Yes, she filed, but she might not go through with it.
Right.
And
Right.
I
That's
don't
like
want to hear
Tiny.
people like, oh, well, now you don't want to. Like,
Not even
let
just
people
that.
be people.
There's
If
a
she-
process to divorce. You have
If
to
she
go
goes
through
back,
separation
Mediation.
first.
they're gonna kill her if she goes back.
But it's none of their business.
And that's the thing.
Your
Like, why?
grandmother been back multiple
Right.
times.
Yeah,
Grandmother,
right.
to a
But-
nigga that wasn't her husband
In the
and
first
it's just
place.
the baby father. Like, the fuck?
They're gonna kill her though.
They
I
will.
seen a meme that was
And
like
I'm
it's a
gonna
lot
post it.
of.
Like, they're gonna
Of
kill
course
her.
you are. You have to. But I seen the one that was like it's a lot of Rashidas talk about party or something like that.
Bruh.
And that's facts. Because
And
why?
that's a
Why?
fact.
Why is there so much like backlash and there's so much negative commentary about her making a choice? You know what? I don't want to do with the shit.
Right.
Yeah, I stayed and dealt with it 50 times before.
Right.
But I don't want to do it the 51st time.
Right. And people was
Okay.
like, oh, it's supposed to be to death do us part. Everybody's final point
Right. Breaking
It's
point.
different.
Same.
Right.
Right. And it's a lot of pick me's because I can't even say it was just a bunch of guys. It was a lot of
No,
chicks
it's a lot of
too.
females too.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah, it was me.
listen, sis. Whatever you do, I support. If you want
Right.
to stay, I support you with your little family.
It ain't my
if you want
marriage.
to leave and be,
Right.
I'm
I
single.
support you. I love it. I love it all.
She can leave.
Right.
I'll be over there. She can leave.
We know you love your
Yeah.
nigga. So,
Right. And she
you
love
know,
that
whether you
nigga.
want to love your nigga in like from a distance or in his face, do
Right.
you, boo? We
But
get
one
it.
thing I did respect, she was like, stop saying all this, oh, sources close to Cardi. She was like, I don't talk to nobody. She was like, I talk to my label about music only. She was like, as far as, she was like, I only talk to my family. So all that, oh, sources say, she was, I don't talk to nobody. So
And I believe
cut
that.
the shit with
I
all
definitely
that.
I
too.
believe that.
Me too.
100%.
Facts. A big fact. So yeah.
She don't play.
We wish them well, regardless of whatever
regardless.
they decide to do.
Yeah, so our next hot topic is voting. And I know that you guys were a part of a panel.
Yes.
How was it?
Yes. It's the election for me. It was hosted by Mouse Jones, the trap karaoke king. And we were guest hosts, the team podcast, me and Danny, along with Bugatti 203. It was a really good conversation. different aspects of it, because we talked about, the reason why it's important to vote and the reason why some people don't vote. And like Mouse said, he was like, I respect somebody to stand what they mean and say, listen, I don't like either one of these candidates. And instead of me just voting just because, I'm going to withhold my, vote.
Right.
But it was a good conversation. Shout out to Adrian Jefferson. Shout out to Tiffany. Shout out to, the Department of Cultural Affairs. It was just a really good conversation. We could have probably talked for another half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. It was a good conversation. It was very in depth, and it was good to use our platform to get the youth just knowledgeable of voting in the process, not telling people who to pick, but just being proactive in our choices on how we can make this world a better place. And with the events that we're about to talk about, that's even more of a reason to vote.
Yes, I'm getting a little teary-eyed for some reason. I don't know why, but our Queen Supreme Court Justice recently passed, and her death is like
Notorious
detrimental
RBG.
To us, our society, because now her seat is empty, and our current president, 45, can elect anyone to fill her seat.
It's actually,
and she was trying to hold on, Ruth Ginsburg. She's really trying to hold on to after the election, but
she told a family member, right? Like, I'm trying to hold on until
like
we get
days
a new
before
president.
she actually died.
Yeah. But sis needed rest, and she has fought a good fight, a really good fight.
87 years old, passed, and she was a liberal, so she was very like proactive as far as abortion and people having choice, equal and pay. LGBTQ and equal pay and civil rights. She just was an advocate for the people,
right?
And the whole process with you about to get this seat to the day you die is just, they need to change that shit.
Quick side note, while we talk about voting, and I just got a text from them little numbers that be like, hey, I'm Susan and I volunteer for the Democrats. Like literally just got it.
Just got it. That's silly.
It's funny because they say that the president is the highest seat of the land, but I feel like a justice is because that's a lifetime appointed. It's appointed. You have to be appointed. A lifetime appointed position. It's either retirement or death.
I agree.
And that's big.
That's huge.
Yeah. 27
years.
27 years.
I'd be nervous to do something like that.
Right?
Yeah, like that's
a huge it's a huge responsibility.
And that's why, so I was watching 2020 Nightline. So like so many votes were 5-4. She was like that fifth vote.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? To get that stuff passed. So now
they saying if he appoints somebody, it's going to be 6-3.
Yeah.
Easy.
We don't need that.
We don't need that.
That's why I was like, hold on, sis. And that's why she wanted to hold on.
And I hope they don't. I hope they make a decision and say, let's leave it until after.
One of the experts was saying like, it's probably a discussion, but I forgot his name. He was like, we gonna have somebody in that seat before the election.
I believe it. I hope they don't, but I believe it.
So, he appoints whoever he wants, and then it goes through the House of the Senate. So
right, and that's predominantly Republican right now.
So
that's why
if they can hold it up and argue and go back and forth, I'm hoping that's what they do, because we still didn't get our stimulus, right?
Because they went on vacation
if you can hold
again.
it up that long like that, then we'll be good.
We'll see.
I seen the meme. It was like bubblegum in the dish. Where's the second stimulus?
That's cute.
Hilarious.
Facts.
That's stupid, but you're right. That's the reason why it's important to vote.
That's
and
exactly
not just
why.
for the presidential election. So something
election.
like this, a lifetime seat, the Senate gets it. If the Senate is majority Republican,
right. NPR and writer at NPR said her death will inevitably. How you say
we got you. We know what you meant.
It's all right.
Set in motion what promises to be a nasty and tumultuous political battle over who will succeed her, and it thrusts the Supreme Court vacancy into the spotlight of the presidential campaign. This whole presidential campaign, because of COVID and just everything, I feel like it has just been trash.
It has.
I was thinking the other day, like, I feel like I haven't really been seeing like a lot of like campaigning. Even. I mean, granted, I know that there's only so much you could do, but I just feel like I haven't been seeing like
they're not
nothing.
innovative enough.
Go on YouTube. Like before every video, Joe Biden shows up. Like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, go on YouTube. They're definitely there. They pushing it in different places.
True. Let
now.
me just also say I don't have cable television,
Okay.
so that's probably part of it
That
too.
might be one of the reasons. But no, you're right. Like, they're not innovative enough. They're so used to going on the campaigns and making their
You gotta do something different.
Yeah, you got to switch that shit up. But this is why you need the youth.
I was about to say the same thing.
We would have got you right.
Trying to tell you.
I was about to say the same
Period.
thing.
Come hire me.
Exactly
Right.
right.
I got
vote.
Okay.
I get. Come hire me. I'll get them good.
Let them know. You know,
Exactly
all the memes popping. Yeah, I seen someone say, I need to apologize in advance. I really want to pause and give RBG her flowers. She deserves so much praise and celebration. But right now, I am overwhelmed by the prospect of what comes next. I'm so concerned about women's rights, civil rights, for people of color, LGBT rights. I'm worried. That was Austin Channing on Twitter. But so yeah, let's just be prayerful that they keep going back and forth to the point where they can't really figure out
Until
who they
after
want.
we get him out of here.
Right.
Because I have faith that he's gonna get out of here. I have
less
faith.
than 2 months.
Yeah.
Less than 2 months to vote. So please vote. If you can't make it to the polls, please fill out your absentee ballots. I know I got ours in the mail.
Yep.
So my brother filled his out.
Please
so.
do it because
This is important.
I feel like if there was never a time, I mean, granted, this time should have happened 4 years ago.
Right.
But after seeing what has happened in the last 4 years,
By not voting and
by not voting,
right.
if there's ever been a time that you need to vote,
Yeah.
this is now. 2020 has been different. So
Real different.
vote.
So, you know, that's
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to her.
A legend.
A job well done.
Absolutely.
Definitely a job well
Absolutely.
done. You have served your country well.
Especially when you know that you've done a job well done all the way to the very end. Like that's a good feeling. Like
27 years of a job well done. She has served her country well.
Indeed.
And made hella strides.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's weird that a lot of people don't even know who she is.
I know.
Right.
You know, like when she passed, it was like,
Who's that?
Who that?
right.
Who
I'm like, y'all don't have no clue of what's going on.
It's wild. And that's what we have to educate our people. Like we really do.
I think because, social studies, they kind of, in social studies class, they kind of glimpse just 9 justices.
Brush by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably barely know the Chief Justice, Justice Roberts. Like, you just brush them on by.
That guy.
It's true. They just brush it and it's not really. That's why I always shout out Mr. P, our civics teacher. Like he really taught us like the ins and outs of politics and stuff.
My political science teacher is the reason why I wanted to major in political science. Like, the State of Union address is kind of like a bore, but he made it an event. Like he was like, we're gonna write a paper on it. He was like, you're gonna notice that when depending on if the president is Democrat or not, you'll notice that the opposite side will stand up and clap.
Right.
And every year, the last 2 years, I haven't been really too excited to watch, but every year I'm like, oh my God, the State of the Union address. Like this
it's
is
so
an
funny.
event.
Like you always connect the teacher to
something.
the things you do.
Absolutely.
So shout out to teachers. You're important.
Yeah, absolutely.
R.I.P. to Mr. P and R.I.P. to Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes, indeed. Trell, who you rooting for this week?
George,
Hey.
aka the Jester, aka the host of the Memeing of It All podcast.
That's lit.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, for
Thank you.
driving up here, literally driving up here to record and going back. Like,
I
never seen it.
I'm honored.
I know.
Right.
It's
I
crazy.
was honored when he posted us like not too long ago.
Yes.
Just for no reason,
Right?
right?
And now I'm like really honored. Like you can't
Yeah, I be charging, so yeah, I be charging.
Hit him up for the promo. Listen, you're gonna have a lot of people looking at it. It's gonna be worth every penny.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Period. But yes,
So shout
once
out to
again,
George. I'm
Thank
rooting
you.
for George and everybody black.
Yes, period. I have the You Tried It of the week.
Ooh, I wanna
and it goes
hear
to 45. I had seen on CNN that he decided not to meet with the United Nations in person. And then the line said like, oh, this is just another way that COVID has, shaken our country and the way things go. Like, it had nothing to do with
You
COVID.
would go to your rally.
Exactly.
And everyone getting COVID at your
that's
rally,
exactly
then you
what I
could sit at
tweeted.
that table where everyone, if you
is
have,
about to clown your ass.
if you have seen like a press conference from the United Nations table,
It's mad. spread apart.
everybody's 6 feet basically.
Right.
He just don't want to get clowned.
Right.
And that's,
If they can go, you can go. You are the president, quote unquote,
Right.
because I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know what he
of
doing.
the
Right.
free world, quote unquote, also because
Right.
free.
Free.
I don't know.
We don't know.
But like,
What's
if
free?
they can go, you could be there. Like,
Right.
stop it.
Right. Being
You're
an
not
extra.
booked.
I'm so over him. Oh my
seen
god!
it. I was like, what? Ain't got nothing. First of all, you were saying COVID wasn't that serious and open everything up and and it's so funny that now he's starting to be precautious.
Right.
Like even when he did that special, like George Stephanopoulos, whatever his name,
Stephanopoulos.
whatever his
Yeah.
name is.
I can't talk.
That'll work.
It's
the wine.
Y'all know who I'm talking
It's
about.
the wine.
When he did the whole interview thing with him and the question and answer thing, he was like, "Oh, yeah, because Corona is really serious." But homeboy about to come out with a book, and we done heard the audio of you saying like, "Oh yeah, I purposely downplayed it because X, Y. I didn't want to scare the people."
First of all,
Lies.
if you there was a clip on I think CNN, and they show you from February or December how it was kept on being mentioned during the press conference, like when the press room, and he ignored
those people's
and
questions.
even like on the bottom of the CNN it'll show like coronavirus Granted, like 1 week it was all about Kobe, so it kind of was like real small of a quarter. But every week, someone like, "Oh, what do you think about coronavirus in China?" Yeah, nah, and he'll just blow past it.
Exactly. That's why we ended up where we are now because he was dragging his feet and playing around instead of being proactive.
Now we still here.
We still here.
Still here.
So yeah, he gets the you tried it. I mean, he should always get the you tried it.
45.
But
Listen,
specifically
he
because
always deserves it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Hillary, what are you doing? Like, what are you up to?
I know.
Right.
I know.
Dodging
Yeah.
court
about-
cases.
and that's what Mel said. He was like, "Yo, it's just so weird that once she didn't win, we ain't hear nothing else about them
Sis,
emails."
Right.
I didn't even think about that until you just said it. You're
Yeah.
right. Where's she at? You all right?
That
sis?
important. Like, you're trying her for no reason.
Yeah, so he
I
got
hope
it.
you okay, sis?
You tried it.
Right. We still love you.
And I don't know if he's trying to make COVID more serious and act like he's concerned now because the
It's too
election
late.
is sooner.
Yeah.
Or what?
It's too late. If that
Or
is
because
his,
his
if
brother-
that is his angle,
Right.
Oh, his brother
it's
passed.
too late, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he pass or he was in the hospital? He was in the hospital,
No,
but
his
they never
brother
said
passed.
what it
His
was.
brother passed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah.
Yes, because
His
I
brother passed.
remember.
No, because nobody was sad.
Yeah.
It was-
I
It's bad.
but
It was bad, but then
wrong.
Nah,
nobody
but the
was
two
like,
RIP.
candidates sent their condolences.
Yeah.
Well, that's
like
nice.
professionals. They were like, "Yeah, our
Yeah.
condolences."
He wouldn't have did that.
I
job,
can't
though.
even see
No,
him doing that.
He didn't even go to John Lewis' funeral.
He's
was
still
like,
talking
"Yeah."
about John McCain now, like throwing shade, like he ain't do nothing for veterans and da da da. But you know what's funny? John McCain's daughter, that's on The View.
Yeah.
How she always be arguing with everybody else.
Megan.
Yeah,
She
I'm
let
like,
her
I
daddy.
wonder what I wonder what she has to say about that. But I think now she's been saying like, our president needs to do better. It's not the Republican Party, it's him himself.
Okay,
I guess, sis, because
maybe.
you was
Wait, I wonder. Has
right.
Has
Not
he,
all in it together.
has
Exactly.
he released a statement about Ruth? Because I looked, I didn't see anything.
I
I
didn't
know
see
he
anything.
he released a
I
statement
haven't
about her seat,
Yeah.
but
He
About
said
her
he-
particularly?
yes, he was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that."
If it was Obama, that statement would have been on ASAP.
It probably like,
And that's the thing,
Obama
he
did.
still be doing it.
Obama already
That's the
did.
thing, he
a
still
nice
does it.
lengthy.
Yeah.
He still is thoughtful and does it, even though he's not in the seat.
Even any other president, like I seen George Bush had made his statement already too.
Yeah.
Like that's just regardless Republican or
You still-
Democrat, it's just certain
Nah.
courtesy
Exactly.
and mannerisms that you
Exactly,
have.
because
I'm
it's
not-
go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie, but I kind of like George Bush. And it had to be
too.
after,
He's a decent
like,
guy.
I did too.
after
Yeah.
he left
Yeah.
office.
After he left the office. Yeah.
Yo,
I did too.
Yeah,
Too
right.
bad.
thank you.
Yeah.
I did too. And if I had to look back now,
I'm gonna appreciate
give
him
me
a
this
little
George
bit.
for the rest of my
motherfucker.
life. If I gotta choose between George and Trump, give me him for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So
I'm like, you got a kind soul.
I think because Michelle Obama was hugging up on him.
right.
Everybody was like,
Right, right.
Oh, she like
She
you.
like,
cool.
If
right.
she like,
You know
oh,
what
you
I
bring
mean?
her candy, you're not that bad.
Right.
You're not that
That
bad.
is so
funny.
silly. That's funny. But yeah, that was our politics rant for
That was definitely
that
a
was the
rant.
whole it was. Y'all go vote.
Yes.
Period.
Basically.
Go.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't get the point.
important.
Every 2 years, go vote.
Yeah.
You didn't get the point now, right? Because you have to vote
Yeah.
locally,
Stand in the lines.
especially,
Yep.
especially.
Right.
Stand in the lines like you standing for some J's.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not.
Polls
It,
don't
it
close.
takes a second. Like, come on.
The
Make it
polls
happen.
don't close.
If
If
you
you're
in
in
the
line,
line,
they're
yeah.
not closing on you.
They
Make
won't
it
close on
happen.
you.
Right.
And I think the absentee ballots are actually a really great idea.
Especially now
Not
because
even just for
everybody can
COVID.
do it.
Right. But people have to realize, this is a nugget, y'all. If you can't make it, at least go to the post office before the actual date and get it
And put it in,
date stamped.
yeah.
Because what happened, I forgot where it was. It was a lot of places where it was stamped after the date, so it wasn't valid. At least go and get it stamped, and if you don't send it for another 2 weeks, you'll be okay because the stamp is still on there with
Florida.
the date.
Something's
Right.
always
A lot of
happening in
people don't know
Florida.
that. You know that's right. Trell, you have a question that niggas is asking?
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm like,
I'm like, you all right?
Because at
Slow today.
first I wasn't going to do one. I'm like, I didn't have one, but I came up with one at the end.
Gotcha.
So I had posted on our page, on our Instagram, what are some ways you can reach out to someone without simply asking, how are you? So how would you reach out to someone without asking, how are you? How are you?
Like if you haven't heard from them or seen them on social media for a long time, or just
Even
randomly?
in general, the post was specifically about like somebody who may be struggling or whatever. Instead of saying how are you, because they could say I'm fine, and you know
Right.
they're really not. But in general, be creative.
Bitch,
What you doing?
where you at?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, like, yo, let's go get something to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, let's go do
Right.
something. Yeah,
Right,
something
right.
like that.
That's what I said. Like,
get them out so you
Right.
can
Right.
visualize.
Exactly.
See where they
right,
at.
exactly.
Then-
Visualize,
Yep,
because
check the
people can
temperature.
say anything, and you can't always pick up on tone and stuff. People can
Especially via
pretend
text
when you're
message.
not looking right at them.
Yeah, I say
So-
I'm fine all the time. So
Oh, yeah.
Right,
I
we
absolutely-
all do it.
Yeah, so
We all do it.
I think it's just like the automatic answer, like, "Oh, I'm good."
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I think that question or that statement that I had saw originally was important, because we all say we're fine, even though 100,000 things is going on. Like my ankle is in pain right now because I just sprained it outside, but I'm fine, you know?
Right.
So I think it's important to try to like really be a little more intentional
Right.
when reaching out to somebody.
Be like, "Oh, I seen this book and it made me think of
Right.
you."
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
this, that, and the third, and then
Exactly.
play it like that. That's actually a really good question.
yeah, exactly.
Right, because people are like, "Oh, how you doing?" Like, "All right, I'm good."
Right.
And
And you don't get a real good
Right.
feel of how that person's really doing.
Absolutely. That's true. Well, that leads us into our episode. This is our Suicide Prevention Month episode. We wanted to make awareness because it's very important to us, especially. And George, thank you for coming on.
not a problem at all.
We wanted you to, one, introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, and what does suicide mean to you, or what part of it has affected you in your life.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm George from Baltimore. Or Baltimore, depending on, if you outside the city.
Right.
Suicide it affected me a very, 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 very deeply. I'm actually a survivor.
Okay.
I
I'm
remember
happy
the
about
day
that.
because it's my birthday.
Oh, wow.
So 2013.
Wow. A day that people would think like, "Oh, look, it's a celebration. You should be happy."
Exactly. I even posted a picture like me sitting in the house chilling. Like I still have that picture.
That's a very great point too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I've been dealing with depression since I was like 10. Anxiety forever. I'm just now going to a therapist now.
Yeah.
I'm like 40. So, but yeah, suicide is it's weird because you think that you are solving the problem and you're only like causing the bigger one. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Wow. Well, one, I commend you for saying that, because a lot of people
Absolutely.
who have been survivors, they're not really ready to talk about it. What kind of led to the reason of you feeling like that was something that you wanted, or
Probably the reason why I was on Instagram, actually, a super bad breakup. Before she walked out the door, you know how you ladies are, y'all hit that last jab.
Right.
The last jab. when
Not
you walk
all of
out. She was like, "You're gonna die alone like your father." I was like,
Nah, that
Damn.
bitch.
Women,
Who is she?
women do have a tendency to like really
I like to go in peace.
gut
Yeah.
punch.
That wasn't a go in
but
peace
it didn't hit me at first, but then
It sat with you.
yeah, like I took the break, just chilling by myself, and I was like, I'm really alone. I'm really sitting here alone, and it just kept echoing and echoing and echoing, and then I was like, you know what, she's right, and I just stopped, took a whole bottle, swallowed it, and my mom, who never visits, like literally never visits me, like she'll call, she'll text, she'll never knocks on the door.
Wow.
I don't answer. She opens it, picks me up, drags me to the hospital. Got my stomach pumped and all that. So, yeah, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we're glad you're here.
Yes.
Question:
definitely.
Did you ever have a conversation with your mom afterwards and say what made you?
Yeah, like probably like 2 years ago, actually. She's like, I don't know. She's like, I had a birthday present for you, and usually you come by the house, so you didn't come by, so I came over there, and I was like, well, I'm glad you did.
Right? Yeah, that saved my life.
So
Everything happens how it's supposed to.
absolutely.
It's true. It's just so crazy how things are aligned.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm like speechless.
That's crazy.
She lives in Connecticut too.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so
Tell Auntie to
What
pull
town?
up.
Like
Hi,
what?
Miss George.
no, not her, the ex.
Oh.
Yeah, see how I changed
so
her?
I take my high back. I take my high
Yeah,
back.
she lives somewhere around here.
Right, we could pull
That's
up.
crazy though.
Right. For real, like, because that's the
Yeah.
stuff like that, like, makes
my
me cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I'm like speechless that somebody would say that,
Yeah.
and just the alignment, how everything happened.
Right.
But you hear so many, well, maybe you haven't, but you hear so many times people are like, you know, you don't know, when you call me, I was just about to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Like so many times things like that happen. So it's just, this is why reaching out
Yeah.
is also important, because you just never know at what moment you are
Someone needs to hear
literally
from you.
saving somebody's
Right.
life.
And you know what's important? You know how we say, like, oh, I was thinking about so and so.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I'll hit them another day. Like, I've been in, I think Danny is the one that says, you know, when somebody's on my mind, I make sure because they're on my mind for a reason. I've been starting to do that.
Me too. And you know what I've had, and I actually kind of got it from Renee. Like I remember her saying it a while back, but actually, because you know sometimes you think about it and it's like I don't want to do it right at this
messages.
second,
Yeah.
but I will make reminders
Yes,
for
I
everything.
remember.
So I started doing that too. Like I actually reached out to Whitney recently because I'm like, she been on my mind. So I put it in my notes because it was like, it wasn't even late in the day, but I didn't want to at that moment,
Right.
for whatever reason. But I put it in my notes and I did that. And she was like, it's so crazy that you reached out to me because blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You just never know.
You never know.
Right.
So Trell, do you have the signs or the different signs that someone can see as a support to know the signs of, all right, this person might be wanting to attempt or
Yeah, I
like
do.
that?
And this is helpful to recognize within yourself as well.
Absolutely.
So some symptoms could be wanting to die or kill yourself, searching for ways or buying a gun, feeling hopeless or having no reason to live, feeling like you have no reason to live,
Right.
feeling trapped or like you're in unbearable pain, talking about being a burden to others, increased use of alcohol or drugs, acting anxious or agitated, reckless behavior, sleeping too much or too little,
That's me.
withdrawing or isolating, showing rage or talking about seeking revenge, extreme mood swings. Like I said, those are things to look for within we talk about it all the time, knowing when to like check yourself.
Yeah.
So those are things to look for within yourself and others.
on the outside. Yeah.
Sheesh.
I have a question.
Yep.
What made you, so 2013, and you said you just now recently going to therapy. What made you say to yourself, you know what, I need help from someone else? Like I need to reach out.
Well, for the whole time I'm on Instagram, you know, I was literally in the house by myself. So I took a super break away from everybody. I'm just gonna leave it alone. And then one day, I don't know what made me do it. I just posted, I'm depressed. And then somebody else was like, oh, that's cool. I'm depressed. I'm like, well, it's not really cool. He's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I get it. I get it. Like
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And then I posted my story, what happened. And then I got like tons of DMs.
Yeah.
Just tons of DMs.
Right.
Like, I had no idea. Like, you're always laughing. You're
Right,
always
right,
funny. And then depression just never left. You know, the glasses stayed on and everything looked gray all the time. And my actual old boss, she was like, I don't care about this job. I don't care about nothing. You need to get help.
That's
Like,
great.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and then my other supervisor, he gave me the number to his therapist. And then I was like, I don't need a therapist. Like, I got Instagram.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And it was like, well, Instagram.
That was your coping
Yeah,
mechanism.
you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm good at that.
Which is cool, but
Yeah.
you know.
Let me post 100 posts.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know,
Good.
talk to people and I'm good. And it's like, no, like we see it in you. Something's wrong.
Right.
And then I just sat down. My mom was like, Yeah. I can see that because I go to therapy. And that's when I was like,
wow.
Yo.
And you never knew.
I never knew. I was
Wow.
like, yo. She's like, yeah, I go to therapy all the time.
Wow.
And I'm like, for what? She's like, from me going to the war, got PS, all that.
Right.
So go talk to somebody. Been talking to her for like 6-7 months now.
Nice.
That's good.
That's
That's good. That's great.
Yes,
Yeah,
that-
I've never felt better.
Good.
You know
That's
what I mean?
great that you
I
had.
don't post as much, but
Right.
it is
No.
what it is,
Yeah.
so.
You gotta do what you
right,
gotta
right.
do.
See,
That's great that you
ahead.
had people that were paying
Advocates for you.
attention and just listening to you
Yeah.
and advocating, like having management like legit
Right.
say something's not right. You need to do this. I don't care about this job. I want you to
Right.
take care of yourself.
That
is big
that's huge.
because you never.
Never.
I won't say never, but it's so rare that your job actually even cares about your well-being for real. They pretend like they do,
Right.
but it's so rare that they absolutely care about your well-being.
And
So
you work at an institution where you guys are personable enough where they can say
That they
I
even
see a
notice.
change.
Exactly.
Right. And you're
Right.
not just a number to you.
Right.
Right. So I wanted to add to that with the symptoms things. I personally think another big thing of recognizing the symptoms is even just having the awareness of what suicide is and what mental health is, period. I think that's important. And the Suicide Prevention Lifeline says that evidence shows by offering support, talking about suicide, reducing access to means to harm, and following up can be like a huge help in reducing suicide risk.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot. So I was on the AFSP website and they have suicide bereavement trained clinicians. So that's also for people who have lost someone to suicide.
Yeah.
And we don't think about that either because it's like, all right, I'm still here.
Right.
But that person's gone. But how does that affect me?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Because we do have a friend that passed away. And I honestly I don't think any of us processed it at
Not
all.
for real.
Right.
We just keep it moving. Like we still honor her. We still make sure, we do the walks when we can. But I don't think to actually go to an actual clinician
And really,
Right.
and dig into it so that it doesn't happen amongst any more of our friends. Like,
right, because they say that one of the risk factors of suicide is being around or exposed to like having somebody in your life who's committed suicide, and even seeing it on TV. You know how we hear about celebrities and stuff. They say that is one of the risk factors. So
yeah,
you're
and
absolutely
then,
right.
And then the feeling of like, how did I not see those signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
The
how
guilt.
did I not
Definitely.
know?
The
'Cause
guilt.
that's a big
Yeah, the guilt
thing.
is real.
The guilt is a big
The
thing.
guilt is probably the biggest thing, and
The worst.
me
thing.
personally, feeling guilty and not really grieving because you feel so guilty. It's like you can't grieve because all you see is guilt.
Exactly.
I think another big thing too, and I was thinking about this the other day, is when you just don't know why.
Right.
Because we ask why about everything.
Right.
And so when this stuff like this happened, you want to know like, well, what was it that made you feel like this is it? I'm done fighting or whatever. Like what happened? Like what could I have done? I think that's a big thing too.
And at the end, like even when she passed, like I was reading old text messages.
I still do.
From like her
sometimes.
birthday, and I'm like, dag, like there go a sign.
Right.
And like, different things. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's just her. Like, that's just how
Right.
she is, but
Right.
not really knowing. And that's why it's so important now to train up like Dea, like my niece, and the younger generation at an earlier age. Because we didn't talk about suicide. We didn't
Right.
talk about behavioral health, especially like we always say in the
Right.
Black community.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're in
Besides-
church.
Definitely.
Right.
It's like
Especially.
a big
You're
taboo.
supposed to just always
Yeah.
pray it off.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's my mom.
I think that,
Which is,
Lord.
but she
Yeah.
goes to therapy.
But
That's
she goes
great.
to therapy
Now,
too.
That's
yeah,
great.
but yeah, before it was like,
She was
there's nothing
like,
wrong
well,
with you.
God
Yeah.
said use your tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Which
true.
still use them, yes, but it takes a little more than that. Sometimes you got to do the work.
Yeah, so it's a great thing that now is starting to be talked about, and we do our check-in. Like even after we met with Samantha Smalls, and what was the other doctor's name? I'm
The one we had when we did
Yes.
our
I'm gonna
Hamilton.
find it. Yes, Dr. Hamilton,
Nakia Hamilton.
Nakia Hamilton.
Dr. Nakia Hamilton.
We know the tools now to be like, hey guys, we're checking in,
Right.
like what's going on, or if we see stuff like, hey y'all, or send a random
And
cash app
honestly,
for this and that.
That's where like it started for me to be more intentional is having that conversation with her, losing Kayla. It makes me now be more intentional because you're right. Sometimes we don't pay attention to stuff. People be distant or people are
in our own
they acting a little weird and doing the most. They getting on your nerves because they acting crazy, but you don't take a moment to be like, well, what the heck is going on with you?
Right.
So I think that, not to say I'm thankful for that situation, but that situation
has helped us grow as people.
Me, yeah,
Definitely.
it has helped a lot.
Definitely has helped.
Because that was that's my only experience. And I worked in psych. For how many years? Like 3 years before this even happened.
Same.
But that was my first like personal, like close experience of even ever in my entire life knowing of somebody that even, you know.
Like my degree is in psychology.
Okay.
Like how,
My
you know what I'm
minor.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just so
Right.
weird that like you're not really informed of the nitty gritty
Until it affects you. But we have to get in the mindset of being knowledgeable and doing what we can do before we have these situations happen to us.
proactive instead of reactive.
Absolutely.
And we need more people like you who are open enough to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I had like 3 friends that passed, and then we everybody else, you know, we all get together and we always say why. We do the whole why thing like all the time. Like I think one friend passed in January, the other one passed in December that same year, and we was like, we have to check on each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because we all grew up, we was like 12. So we all grew up together. Like, we never saw this coming.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, just talking about it, just even having a conversation.
Right.
The simple conversation of, I'm not okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? And knowing that it's okay to be not okay right then and there.
Yep.
And that's just the first step to it, you know? So
honestly, that's like the first basic step, knowing that it's okay not to be okay.
yeah, because you know, some people were like, well, get over it, shake it off. Right. You know?
I just was about to ask you that. Like, did you have any negative people like, oh, you were doing it for attention?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Like, they're like, how you laughing one day and then the next day you're sad. Like, you know, I used to get that all the time. But then a couple years later, they'll DM me like, I didn't know depression was real, you know, but I'm going through it now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
yeah.
like, cool. Like, now let's talk about it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't want you to like make fun of me. I'm like, I wouldn't make fun of you. I'm still going through it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, depression is forever.
Forever.
There's
yeah.
no cure for depression. That's what people need to understand.
Right.
Like, you're going to be depressed. Like, it's not just a sad day. You're going to be depressed.
And this is mental health issues in general.
You know what I mean? So
there's no quick fix.
Right.
So I feel good now, but who knows later on tonight, or tomorrow? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm here to help anybody. Like I tell people, my DMs is open 24 hours. If I don't get to you right then and there, I got you sometime during that day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help everybody. I told somebody this morning, like, I want to be on the Senate floor one day and just talk about mental health.
Right.
That's important. I think that's super important, especially in that realm.
Exactly.
Because they all crazy. Right. They all need it. Like every single one of them.
Yeah. It's
like,
crazy that, I mean, you know, as growing up, because none of us really knew about it. I mean, so I'm not like judging the people that were holding it against the people that say, oh, you're doing it for attention, or how can you be sad today and happy tomorrow? Because if you don't know, you don't know. But I think that's super important to understand, and that it looks different for everybody.
Exactly.
Right.
It looks,
Exactly.
and I can be depressed right this second and still going about my life and doing what I got to do. I'm functioning, but I'm still depressed, low key. Yeah. You know that commercial where it'd be like, I forget, it's like for a drug for depression,
and
they be having like the
face.
That's real life. It looks different for everybody.
It's
so
true.
I think that's important to realize is that you can't tell nobody how they feel.
Right.
Absolutely not.
You can't tell nobody how they feel.
So after, attempting and still being here, what are ways or ways that you try to reduce those thoughts to eliminate yourself from, trying again?
Meditation. Just getting active. Like, leave the phone alone.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm bad at it now, but
That's
before
huge.
I got real good at it. I was like, I wouldn't even look at it. That's why I keep my phone down, because I don't even look at it.
Because you won't see the light
if I
pop
go like
up.
this, I'm like,
like,
Right,
I see
right.
somebody just
see
sent
that?
me.
Yeah,
You got bad notifications.
So I was like, let me do that.
Yeah.
And in relationships, they be like, why are you doing that? You hiding something? Like, no, this is for you.
Right.
And that's important.
Literally
Because,
for you.
because that's the first, I'd be like, he don't want me to see something, but you never know that. That's
And I'm
you never
telling
know.
people, like, I've never locked my phone. the entire time I had an iPhone. And I had the iPhone since the first one. I never locked the phone.
Right.
So I'm not hiding anything. You can go on my phone right now.
Right.
It opens right up. So,
Right.
But yeah, just meditation. Stay away from the phone. I paint.
I've been seeing your paintings.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't like them, but everybody else do. So.
You don't have to like
Isn't
them.
it therapeutic?
You don't have to like
Yeah,
them.
it is.
I love
Definitely.
it.
She's
I
the
love
painter.
it.
Yeah. So I paint and build stuff.
Nice.
My mom said I'm weird. I get depressed and I buy a house. So I bought a house.
Oh, well, that's a good mechanism.
So
Right.
but yeah, this little things I just do. I actually became a Buddhist like 6 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, no, 5 years ago. Excuse me, not 6. 5 years ago, and that definitely helped.
Right.
So reading a whole bunch of. I got a book in the car right now. So
Learning about it
Yeah.
and all
That's
that.
absolutely. So used to drink too much, but I stopped doing
Cut
that.
back.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes
Because I
a
feel like
difference.
drinking kind of fuels
Yeah.
the thought.
Oh,
Exactly.
listen.
Substance abuse absolutely
Yeah.
exacerbates whatever you have going on. 90% of the patients I used to get in psych were behavioral, but a lot of their suicidal ideation came from them just getting way too drunk. I mean, granted, it's not just that,
Right.
but that pushes them into like,
That helps.
I
the thoughts.
want to die, and they don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
want to. They just,
Yeah.
they're drinking a little too much.
Yeah, I used to like those first 3 months of 2018. I was always drinking. Like I was the biggest I ever was. Like, and I had to think about it. I'm like, damn, like I really like that was my way of just saying like,
Coping,
oh, life is
right.
fine. Like,
we all cope
Yep.
that way.
Right.
Honestly, you might
Bruh,
not
it was
realize
bad.
it,
Yeah.
but I feel like we all have a tendency, and I mean, when I say all, I mean millennials in
Right.
general.
Right.
I feel like we all have a tendency to be like, I want to go out and get drunk. I'm in the mood to get drunk tonight. Why are you in the mood to get drunk
Right.
tonight?
For no
even
reason.
when we first found out about Kay, it was like, all right, we're gonna go to the
That's
bar.
literally
Right.
what we did the very first night. We all ended up finally, after all the craziness, we ended up at the bar. Like, why was that the
Yeah.
go-to?
The first thing,
Right.
right.
you know, I mean, but I get it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It helped for the moment.
It does.
yeah. But then when that shit wear off,
Like everything
You
else.
still,
Yeah.
it was
still
going
have
away.
to-
Like I woke up
Yeah.
that morning on Dom's couch, still like, cause I woke up, it was fresh. So I woke up
remember
for 2
Dom's.
seconds. I'm like, oh, that didn't happen.
Right.
right?
And I'm right back into my feelings. So it doesn't help at all.
No, because you always
Only
have
for a
to,
moment.
you always have to deal with it. You sweep it under the rug, but it's like, what's
Yeah.
next? How do you deal with
Right.
it? What's the aftermath?
You have to
How do
deal
you
with
Have
it.
to deal
you
with
know,
life.
strip it
Yeah.
apart.
And I want to mention too now, especially with COVID, that is a whole nother layer of mental health and is risky as far as, people feeling
Yeah.
super depressed.
Yeah.
Like, you can be depressed, but when you have to go to work and you are talking to people on a regular
Right.
basis,
And you're functioning.
you're
among
functioning, you're
people.
okay. But then when you get laid off, you have no money to support your family.
It's a risk factor.
Even if you are working in the COVID realm
Yeah.
and in healthcare, that's a lot.
It's a lot. I said,
Yeah.
so loss of finances and job loss, that is a risk factor of suicide. And
Just like
depression
that
in general.
couple in New York. Remember the couple in New York who had left a note like
And
in
it was
the
like
building?
they had kids too.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. This is why, how maybe not now, but back when we were younger, you always hear about like rich people like committing suicide.
Yep.
Yep.
And how they say this just shows you that money is
Money
not
can't make,
right.
make you happy.
Because you just never know. It's always other stuff that on top of it. And
Always.
money, even if you got a lot of it, it can still more money, more problems.
Right.
Like that's a legit fact. It's a
true.
legit fact. And I said from the beginning when COVID was starting that, I felt bad for a lot of the people that already are seriously dealing with mental health issues, because I can't imagine like sometimes you need that to get out the house. Now you stuck in the house. On top of the fact that this started like late winter, early spring.
Right.
We already
was still
dealing with
cold.
seasonal blues. Like that's a real thing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm low-key
absolutely.
feeling like I have
Absolutely.
that sometimes because it's a real thing. Like
Yeah.
so
Especially
I
with
really-
daylight savings.
Yeah,
the
that
mood
like
just
all of that
shifts.
too.
Yep.
It's dark at 4 and 5 o'clock in
Right.
the evening, and
Yeah.
Right.
That's how my boss saw it. So we was on Zoom meetings, and she's like, she's just staring at me in the meeting. She's not talking. She's like, I'm like, what? And then she calls me like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, there's nothing wrong. I'm just in the meeting. It's boring. She's like, nah, there's something wrong with you. So
And you see how you said it's boring trying to master.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
trying to
God
master.
for her being attentive.
absolutely.
Right, like
So,
I'm like that part right there is like just sticking. Like I'm like emotional over that because especially coming from a job that I absolutely hated,
Right.
and I can't see getting that kind of support if I needed it.
I hated
Like
that job
that's
too.
amazing.
I hated that job
Like,
too. I just
don't-
loved
And you
her.
hated it,
Right.
and you hated the job, and
Yeah.
still was. That's like amazing. That's amazing because that makes a
amazing
huge
that
difference.
She saw through the masking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still texts me. Like
That's all.
I
And
left,
checking
I
up
left,
on
I
you.
left like
That's
a month
awesome.
ago. She still texts me.
guardian
That's
angel.
awesome.
That's awesome because we need more of that because sometimes
You
it
don't
does
see
take.
it too often.
It's not always going to be like your friends or your family
Right.
that notice stuff because we have our own stuff going on too, and then we are just so wrapped up in ourselves. Sometimes you don't
Programmed
like
to-
really. You might notice something, but then you get sidetracked and
Yep.
you forget.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
I think that's super important that you had that.
Yeah, me too.
I love that.
So, any final thoughts as far as one, let the people know where they can find you, and
Right, because his DMs
like you
is
said,
open.
Yeah, my DMs is open.
24/7.
always.
Well, you can find me first and foremost at the Jester, THE_JEST, the number 3R.
Yep.
It's only 3 because somebody had the name already. You can find me also the Memeing of It All podcast. Yeah, we added the podcast on it. The Memeing of It All podcast. It's memeing, like the word meme with ing on it. You can find us. We're there.
Check out our posts. Is in there.
Yeah, we got the
absolutely.
link.
So, and other places, I guess.
Your Lighthouse page.
Yeah, Justice Lighthouse. Thank you for reminding me. Justice Lighthouse, my mental health page for people who go through it just like me.
Yep.
I'm always there. I'm always posting ways to cope, ways to get through it, all that good stuff. I got a hair oil page as well.
Hey, let them know.
baby_beard_butter.
That's cute.
So
That sounds
I do
cute.
the butters, I do the oils, I do all that. That's what I've been doing during COVID. I'm just trying to figure stuff out. Just trying-
Yeah.
revenue.
Exactly.
Listen, this
That's
is the
what's
best.
up.
This has been the best time for people
Using
to
your
start.
time wisely.
Exactly.
And not to say that if you have not been using your time
It's
wisely,
okay.
that's wrong because
Right.
that's a big thing
you
too.
could
It's
just be
a very
unwinding.
tricky time that we are
Yeah,
in.
it's a very sensitive time.
So give
yeah.
yourself grace.
And don't be doing just to do because if it comes out like trash, you're gonna be upset about it.
Oh,
So
that's how I was with the butters at first. The butters was nasty. It just smelled like shea. And I'm like, put cinnamon in it. And it was like, okay. So, but yeah, we good now though. So y'all come see us.
Oh, we good now. We
good
ain't
now.
in the trial
Yeah.
stage.
Right.
We got
We
this.
legit.
Okay.
My last final thought is just be mindful that we are all struggling with something.
Yes.
We're all
Be
struggling
kind.
with something. Be
Be
kind. Be
kind.
kind to
Just-
yourself
yeah.
and each other. But especially be kind to yourself because Black people, especially Black women,
Yeah.
we have a tendency to be like our own
Yes.
biggest critic. So
Yes.
It's true. And just like the commercial, if you see something, say something.
yes, absolutely.
Don't be afraid to speak out either to that person or letting that person's family member know or calling the suicide hotline, which is 800-273-8255.
Yes, and in July, by
Speak
July
up.
2022, we're supposed to have a 988 number. So much easier to call if you need help.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Yeah. So
right,
July
just that.
2022 that's supposed
They
to be
should have a
coming out.
It's
texting
okay
number
to snitch
too.
on
I
mental
found
health.
something. I gotta find it, and if I find it, I will absolutely post it on our page. But there is a text line.
Right. And
I
they
have
have
to find
texting
it.
therapists too, where you can text and
Yeah.
be like, "Yo, I'm not feeling good," and they hit you
They
back
do.
instantly.
Talk-
Yes, they do.
Is it talk therapy? Something like that. It's something where it's all online. I can't think of the name of it, but it's all online.
So
Yeah, for my final thought, I definitely wanted to say definitely be kind. But for like Black Twitter and internet people, there's a thin line between jokes and like real life penetrating someone's spirit.
Right.
And I'll
Absolutely.
take Chad Bowick situation, how everybody
Bozeman?
Bozeman. I was like,
you did pause.
I'm like, wait. I'm like, they didn't say
You
this
checked
because I was- how everyone clowns his
for him
weight
being
loss,
so skinny.
and no one thought to think it was actually cancer,
Mm-hmm.
but just him prepping for a role, and just for him to actually deactivate his Twitter his Instagram or block the comments, and it's like, and then after he dies, and you're like praising him for going through all of that, but
I didn't know. I didn't have a
I
clue.
didn't know.
Right.
Somebody, and I'm glad you brought that up because somebody also posted something like, "Why do we need to know?"
Right.
for us to be decent human beings.
Right.
You don't need to know.
So that's
But
what
just not comment. Yeah, but just not making fun of his appearance. Like,
Because of the fact that you don't know.
Right.
Just don't say nothing.
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
Your opinion is
this
not
what I
needed
be
all the
saying.
time.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. So, like, all the things that Black Twitter blows up, like Cardi B situation, like, you know, there's a thin lines and jokes in like penetrating someone's spirit. Like,
Like you don't know. Yeah.
I know we deal with everything with laughter, but
Especially
sometimes
in
it
our
goes
community.
too far.
It does. It does. And on the
100%.
internet, it absolutely goes too
Yeah.
far.
Right.
Yeah, you just
does.
like you said, you don't have to know in order to be kind or be a normal human being.
And with
So,
the
yeah.
celebrity thing too, I think we forget often that
They're
they're people
people,
with people with feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
They're people with feelings.
Yeah.
And knowing
I
when
got
to log
feelings.
We're all people with
We
feelings.
all
And
have feelings.
just be nice.
Yes. Well, we love everybody. Thank you for another wonderful episode. Once
was a
again,
good one.
George, thank you for driving all the way to
Yes,
New
we're
Haven
so
CT
appreciative.
No
to be
problem.
on and sharing your story.
I
And
will come
you
back
know.
anytime. No problem.
So, okay,
Look, we
don't
trying to
tell
come
us that
to you.
because
We trying to come
anytime.
to you.
Just-
Wait, don't come back just yet. Let us.
Just once a month. Once a month. I can't do it back to back. Can't do it back to back.
That's
Yeah, I
pretty
can do it.
good. Look, that's pretty good. That's
Let me
solid.
get one of them good checks and I'll come back up here.
So I do have a positive vibe.
Yes.
let's
So
hear.
Oh, I
never-
thought that was your positive vibe. My bad.
So my positive vibe is never stay in a place where your value is not appreciated, celebrated, and rewarded. Never do
Love
it.
it. Love it.
Self-care.
Nice.
Like Cardi B.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're toxic, remove yourself. Just be good to yourself.
Right. And don't ever feel bad for choosing yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Don't ever let nobody make you feel bad for choosing yourself.
Choose you, boo.
Right.
That's what we're
All
gonna
right.
start
You're the only one
saying.
you got.
Right. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and until next time.
Toodles.
Bye.